Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chesswise. Today we are looking at the next topic, that is the pawn wedge in the center. So what is a pawn wedge? We will see soon. Whenever there is an arrow or line of pawns diagonally placed which are heading towards the opponent's king side. So usually like a pointed arrow towards the opponent's king side usually. So started with the game, we will come to that position and we will come to know what is it all about. So E4, E5, NF3, MC6, and today we are looking at the move Bishop B5, which is called the Royal Lopez. Okay, this is one of the most popular moves at higher level. White intends to put pressure on the C6 knight, which supports the E5 pawn. So directly White is trying to put pressure on the E5 pawn. Of course, I am not going to discuss about this opening right now. We will be doing a separate chapter on the basics of Royal Lopez. So here Black has many ways to respond. He can play NF6 and attack the E4 pawn. Right now the pawn is not going because Bishop C6, DC, Knight E5, then Queen D4. Queen does double attack. Just let me show you quickly. After Knight E5, Queen comes to D4. And knight and pawn both are attacked, and black will become somewhat better also after NF3, Queen E4 check. Okay, this game black went for a sharp line. Normal moves, as I told you, are NF6, BC5, BE7, D6, A6, the main line. These are the normal moves over here. Black played the move F5. He is sacrificing a pawn. This is called the Janisch gambit. After E into F, of course, black either wants to play E4 or he plays NF6 first and then he will try to play D5 or E4 depending on the situation. So now white has to react properly and EF is not that great over here. So the main move should be here NC3. So after NC3, white not only supports the pawn but prepares for black's aggression. See, after FE, NE4, D5, it looks like the black pawn center is rolling down, but look at white's development here. So development and center control, okay, they can counterbalance each other in many cases. So now see here, white's development will outpower the control of center because knight into E5 is very strong, and after knight E5 DE there is Queen H5 check. So the position becomes very sharp. Okay. Also there is knight E5 DE4, knight C6 to be considered. That is also very interesting. So the NC3 move is one of the main moves in the position. After F5, white has also D3 to support the pawn. But then after D3, NF6, then NC3, then BB4, black becomes very active in the position. So D3 is what actually black wants. White becomes the, we can say, slightly on the defensive side over there. So in the game, white did another move which looks like a very aggressive one. Let's see. White wants to open the center. See, this is a very logical move. Black plays on the side, okay, and he is trying to attack the center from with the side pawn, that is weakening the king's diagonal. Okay. So in our diagonal weakness chapter, we have considered when this diagonal is considered really weak. But now what happens after FE? White wants to take NE5, okay, and after NF6, white has DE, which is also going to give him good position. So now what happened? Black notices that he has got a tactical possibility here. So he went for F into E. Here white has to play some sharp idea, maybe like knight G5. That should be the idea of move D4. Now the bishop protects the knight on G5. But it's not very clear whether knight G5 is that good idea because there is D5 protecting E4. But I think if white is going for such a line, then he should play knight G5. In the game, white went knight E5, black takes knight into E5, and now we realize that Queen H5 check simply doesn't work because the knight can either go to G6 or F7. When Queen E5 check is not possible, the same knight blocks the square on E5. Okay, so white had to go for D. So maybe white would have thought that this position is somewhat better for him. Black to play, what should black do here? Good, if you have found the move, black goes for C6. this move is actually not only attacking the bishop but trying to use the queen's diagonal. So actually it's a double attack. Now the bishop should have either rushed back to e2 idea, nc3 castle and develop quickly, or nc3 bishop e3 and develop quickly. But white went bc4. See, this is a very logical move. Bishop is on the good diagonal. The diagonal will be very useful only if black is not able to play d5. Right now d5 is a mistake because ed n%. Okay, but black had this idea in mind. He went queen a5 check. That is why I said it's a double attack. The pawn move opened the queen's diagonal. Queen is giving check, and now this is a direct double attack. White develops nc3 and queen takes e5. So at this point we need to take stock of things. What has happened? White has lost a pawn, but we can very well say that there are two developments. Black's pawn on e4 is also looking good. But what white can achieve here with his extra development? See, the queen on e5 right now is well placed. So we are unable to drive the queen. Move like f4 don't work because ef n% check. So white should have gone for something like bishop e3, then queen d2, castle, bd4 and trying to get the h rook to e1. And that would have given a fantastic position. Black also has d5 here. But after d5, we can either go bb3 or be2. Same idea, queen d2 long castle. The game would be far interesting and balanced one. For the pawn and good center, white has some development over there. We can definitely say white is not fully compensated over here because blacks see the pawn center. So this is the wedge in the center. The d5, e4 pawns, especially if they are going to be used for the kingside attack. And that will happen. White plays short castle in the position, and that is where white went wrong. So it was absolutely necessary to do bishop e3 over here. White went castle. Well, he is ahead in development. He wants to open the center. Maybe rook can come to e1. But unfortunately, because of the pawn mass in the center, the pawn wedge starts creating problems. Now comes d5, bishop is attacked. Now the bishop had to retreat to e2 because in future we don't want bg4 or knight f6, knight g4. So basically white suffered because of his castling at the wrong place. He has castled here at the wrong side. Okay. So now bishop went to b3. Another mistake. Some obvious moves for white were made, but they turn out very badly. Black just develops nf6. Still bit premature to play bd6. Okay, and now white played bishop e3. Black to play. I want you to think for some time and try to see if black is able to create a outright attack in the position. I think most of you would have found the move. Black plays bd6 and black is almost having a forced combination thanks to the pawn on e4. First problem we see, it stops f4 forever because of n%. See, f4, ef, n%, queen f3 supporting the bishop. But now after queen h2 check, we can easily come to know that the king is coming out, knight g4 check, rook f8 and all, and the position is winning for black. Is stopping f4. Second, the only move now, g3, because f4 is not possible, and now the power of e4 pawn becomes even more. Because the f3 and h3 square, see, both have become weakness, but this f3 square especially will fall into black's hand permanently, and the game doesn't last long now. Black goes bishop g4. See the speed of black's development. See, some time ago it looked like black was slightly behind in development, but now what has happened? The center control, superior center control has led to kingside attack. So superior center control can happen by occupying the center with the pieces or having pawns in the center. So now bg4, f3 is not possible, just ef or bf3. bf3 is simply very strong. So white goes qd2 here. Other moves lose very quickly, like knight e2, then queen h5, attacking the knight on e2, knight is pinned, knight cannot move. Rook comes to e1, and after the move bf3 here, or after the move queen h3 here, which is slightly stronger. We don't want to allow h4, and after bf3 it is game over. No time to act, because if queen moves, then bishop f3, knight f4, then we just take on f4 and mate on g2. So see, knight f4, bishop f4, bishop takes f4 and queen g2 checkmate. So knight e2 was blunder over there. White played the move qd2 in the game, and now we can see out of many moves which are possible, queen f5, idea queen f3 bh3, queen h5, idea queen h3 bf3, and bf3, idea queen f5 and h5 leading to h3. The best move order is first playing bishop f3, because we never want white to move the f pawn and control the g2 and h2 squares. So it's absolutely necessary that we create a bind in the position, means we don't let the pawns move, so that the queen cannot control here. White is threatening bf4 apparently, because bishop f4, queen moves away, then d6, bishop goes for free. But black had calculated everything precisely. Bishop f3 would move, bishop f4, only chance. And now the move, white must have expected the move like queen e7 or queen e6 over here, when after trading the queen can join. Okay, but black played queen to f5, unexpected move. Now if bishop takes d6, then queen h3, and no defense to the mate on g2. This move came as a shock to white, but already it's too late. The position is losing. So he tried the last way. So only way to guard the g2 square is white has two moves before black reaches queen h3 and queen g2. So white uses, he sees the piece which can control g2, so that is the only knight on c3. So knight comes to d1, queen moves to h3, and the last chance, knight e3 to control the g2 square. Here black has many ways. Many people suggest the move bishop f4, gf4, which is of course winning. We can do that. But black noted rightly, now g2 is one weakness and second is h2. On discussed before also, where only the king supports, they are liable to be weak. Okay, so what we need to see that whether we can bring more attacks over there. Black was ng4 here, and we can see if knight takes g4, then queen g2 mates. So basically the knight on e3 is overloaded now, guarding g4 and g2 both. Threat on h2 cannot be stopped, so white went away. Rook c1 making space for the king, but queen h2 check, king f1, see queen f2 is guarded by the queen, but here q h1 and checkmate. So in the game over here white resigned after the move. This was all about the pawn wedge in the center. We will be covering more lessons related to the attack on the king side and center. I hope you are enjoying these lessons. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.